As a Christian female in the fitness industry, I've seen so many women frustrated as they search for transformation through diets and exercise alone. And what I realized is that God's Word, the most important part of this life for a Christian, seems to be the portion that's always missing from what we're being taught about being fit and healthy. Courageous Fit Female is a podcast for women who love Jesus and want to get fit and healthy His way. Want to seek His truth versus what the world says? Then let's get into today's show. Hi, it's Jaclyn Castro here, and today we are going to talk about something that may or may not be on your mind. Now, you may not think that this is for you, okay? And that's probably not like a great way to start a podcast episode, but anyways, just go with me here. So this is going to be an episode about your weight loss result and whether or not you are having weight loss results, if you are getting results, you're not getting results. You may be thinking as a Christian, okay? As a Christian, maybe I am not losing the weight because I don't have enough faith in God. Maybe I need to work on my faith. Maybe this is a reflection of my faith. Okay, so if that's not something that you're going through, please still tune in because you're going to learn some things that you may have heard already, but we always need reminders, right? You're just like me. I'm just like you. We need to be constantly reminded. We are God's children. He reminds us over and over again. It reminds me of His Word, where constantly He tells us over and over again the same things. He's just really great with words. God is so good with sharing stories with us and all the things to remind us over and over again in different ways. So, okay, the first one. If you are feeling like you are not getting those weight loss results and you're thinking that it's a reflection of your faith, guess what? Number one, it's probably because you're not taking consistent action. It's not probably, it's most likely. Okay, I need to be honest with myself that most of the time when I don't get the results that I want in any area of my life, it's because I'm not practicing enough. I'm not putting in enough consistent action. Okay, so number one, if you're not taking consistent action, then let's take a good look at why you're not taking that consistent action. For sure, prayer and reading scripture is going to be required if you want to have consistent action or you want to walk towards consistent action. Otherwise, you're just going to be using willpower. And aren't we done with willpower? I'm done with willpower. I'm so tired of it because it runs out. We run empty because we get exhausted from using our own strength. So, but anyways, we need to take action most of the time, not some of the time, not when we feel like it or when we're motivated because we saw an Instagram post that really pumped you up for the moment. No, that's not how it works. One of my coaches said something that I really love that I want to pass on to you. And you've probably heard this too, but I love it. So I'm going to say it anyways. She says that consistency is a girl's best friend. Now, when I heard that, I was like, no, Jesus is my best friend. But anyways, she's not a Christian. She's someone that she doesn't profess Christianity or anything like that, but she has such great teachings that I value when it comes to perimenopause and taking care of my health, taking care of my physical body and that side of things. But when she said that consistency is a girl's best friend, I was like, yeah, you better believe it. Because in my life, when I don't practice consistency, nothing happens. Things just stay the same. Again, number one, you're not taking consistent action. See, I told you if you tune into this episode that you're going to learn or be reminded of these things because we always need these reminders, right? Okay, number two, if your weight loss results are not happening, it's not a reflection of your faith, sister. I'm here to tell you, number two, that you're not following the appropriate program for your age, for your gender, and for your season. Because there are so many different programs out there. If you tune into episode 125, I did talk about how there's literally 819 million results when you type in fitness and weight loss for women onto Google. I'm not even joking. That's crazy, right? So there's endless amounts of programs that we can go with and that we can choose from. But we have to be very specific. We can't just go into anything that looks good or sounds good. Again, if you're new here, this is Courageous Fit Female. Go back to 125, because we are in episode 126 right now. But the previous episode is going to talk to you about what or where to choose a program for weight loss and for fitness if you're a Christian, because there's a specific way to do that. Okay. So going back to number 2, you're not following the appropriate program for your age, your gender, and your season. Maybe you're doing a program that's really for men and you don't know it because the person that created it just created it based on, what they have been through, and they just recreate it. They're not considering you as a woman. And yes, there are actually scientific studies and research that they do studies on what actually works. Like, for example, keto works. But guess what? The studies that the research that is out there, it's not for women who are in menopause. It's not for the average, prime, the woman that is prime in her life, 25-year-old woman. No, it's based on studies for the average male, or the male that is in their peak prime time in their life where their muscles are ready to soak it up. So we need to make sure that we're following the appropriate program, not just any program, not just any challenge, that you see on Instagram. Okay. And for the season that you're in, if you're going through perimenopause like I am, it has to be a specific type of program. So don't just go with the flow. Don't just go with free weight loss challenges, or any new class that you see in the gym. Walking is fine, but there's a lot of intentionality that goes into designing and formatting an exercise program if it's a good program. Okay. So, and I'm just going to say that it's so much easier when someone tells me what to do, because I followed programs where people told me what to do, and I still love programs where people tell me what to do. But I have learned now in this season where I should care about the background of the person telling me what to do, their experience, their expertise, where are they getting their information? It matters to me, and it should matter to you. Okay, number 3, the reason why you're not getting the weight loss results is because your program does not emphasize the proper type of strength training. Maybe the program you're in doesn't even have a strength training component. It's based on lots of cardio and HIIT and walking. Walking is not enough. It's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. We should do it more often, but it's not enough, and it shouldn't be the main thing. And cardio, on that same note, should not be the main thing. HIIT should not be the main thing. It should be part of it, but not the thing that we should focus on. And the reason why I say walking is not enough and cardio and HIIT is not enough is because we need enough resistance to create a change. Just like trials, right? If we don't go through any trials and, because we choose to avoid the hard, then we're going to stay the same and nothing much is going to shift or move the needle. But this is not, right? We know that Courageous Fit Female, we don't focus on the outward change. That's actually going to come when we put in the work, but this is not about outward change. I'm not talking about outward change. That's going to happen in the time as we put the consistent work in. This is inevitable. If you don't want it to happen, guess what? It's still going to happen because you put the time in. That's the outcome, the output that you're going to get when you put the time in. But this is really more about the way that you're going to be feeling from the inside out, right? God designed our bodies in this way that when we consume the right kinds of foods in the right amounts for our season and our age as women, it's one of those little quote unquote secrets that naturally and physiologically, you're going to move the needle closer towards fat loss. And if muscle loss is happening, which is if you're not strength training, I guarantee you that that's what is happening. If muscle loss is happening, then bone density is also decreasing. And on top of that, fat storage will also increase all at the same time. So the bottom line is get your appropriate type of strength training for your age as a woman. Number 4, why your weight loss results are not happening? It's not a reflection of your faith. Number 4 is because you're fixing your eyes on the weight loss versus fat loss. Now, I've been wanting to talk about this for quite some time. I know I consistently say the word weight loss on this podcast. But it's because we identify with that word the most. Most of us don't talk about fat loss. But really what we want is to lose the fat, not just the weight. Okay, weight can be anything. It could be, your hair and your bones and your muscles and your fat and your skin and the clothes you're wearing, right? You could wear like a heavy jacket one day and weigh yourself, and then the next day you're going to feel good because you took it off and you're like, woohoo, wow, I lost weight. But no, it's not. We need to focus on the thing that actually matters when we are trying to get fit and get healthy. So again, you're fixing your eyes on the wrong things, on weight loss versus fat loss. So if the scale shows that you lost weight, here's the thing to realize, okay? Muscle is most likely what has been lost, not the fat. We don't want to lose muscle. We want to keep muscle. Losing muscle means that you have lost what a tongue twister, metabolically active tissue. There you go. So we really need to maintain our muscle or gain the muscle if we don't have any. So number 4, again, you're fixing your eyes on weight loss versus fat loss. Number 5, last but not least, the reason why your weight loss results are not happening, it's not a reflection of your faith. It's because you are cutting out lots of carbs, sister. Guess what? That's water weight. That is water weight. Now I want you to think 1, 2, and 3. But before I get to what is 1, 2, and 3, I just need to say a girl needs her carbs. The right carbs, okay? Not the sugary carbs. I'm talking about the complex carbs. Think sweet potatoes, yams, brown rice, quinoa, black beans, chickpeas. Oh gosh, like I'm not eating pasta made with refined flour, so I've been testing different kinds of pasta, and I found this really cool one called cassava spaghetti. It's a grain-free pasta that I found at the grocery store, and I was super excited because there's only 2 ingredients. It's cassava, I was supposed to have the box in front of me, but cassava tapioca starch and water. That's it. Only those 2 things. And I was super excited, so I had to share that with you. If you ever find that at your grocery store, grab it and try it out for yourself and see if you get excited about it. Anyways, going back to the episode. So yeah, we want complex carbs, okay? You need your carbs and the right kind of carbs. And the 1, 2, 3 I was talking about is 1 serving for breakfast, 2 servings for lunch, and 3 servings for dinner. So 1, 2, and 3. And I know that's completely backwards as far as what we have learned. But if you have been having problems or troubles or issues going to sleep, falling asleep, staying asleep, part of the problem could be that you are still super hungry and you can't wait to wake up and eat breakfast, and then you eat 3 servings of carbs, right? You do it backwards, and we were actually taught backwards. So do it the other way around. Think 1 serving for breakfast, 2 servings for lunch, and 3 servings for dinner time. And when I made that switch, let me just tell you, I was super comfortable laying down. I mean, of course, wait 2 hours before you lay down. Don't just lay down when you're done with dinner. But making that switch, reversing that the other way around, has made a huge difference for how I fall asleep. And also, when I wake up, I feel a lot more energetic. Sisters, if there's one thing that you take away, 2 things. It's consistent action and appropriate strength training, because muscle is one of those things that we just need more of for change to take effect, not just on the outside, but on the inside, physiologically, with the rest of our systems. And of course, we want our bodies to be strong and to be used by God to take action physically. So we need that strength training. We need to keep our muscles, our ligaments strong. And just know that muscle is going to be your friend when it comes to helping you to be carried through some of those tough situations, physically, but also emotionally, because it scientifically, and the way God designed our bodies, when we take care of ourselves, we actually transfer that to other parts of our lives. So emotionally, right, we care more about that and how we take care of the things that we are feeding our minds, and what we're seeing, what we're listening to, and it just transfers into one file, so to speak, into the next. It's just one of those things that will help you when it comes to losing the extra padding around the waist. Okay, so to recap, your weight loss is not a reflection of your faith. Thank God for that, because He does not help us to move closer to our weight loss goals, our fat loss goals, based on how many times we read the Bible, or whether or not we wake up at 5 a.m. to do our devotions, or whether or not we are participating in ministry, or we left the ministry, or whatever it is, because we said no to this, this ministry, or volunteering for that. No, it's not based on your faith. It is based on these 5 things. And these are just 5 things. There's a bunch more that we can talk about, especially when you do one-on-one coaching with me. Number 1, you're not taking consistent action. Number 2, you're not following the appropriate program for your age, your gender, and the season that you're in. So season could mean whether you're in menopause, that season, it's not even a season, it's going to be the rest of your life. Maybe you're recovering from an injury and you need to have the appropriate program to follow. Number 3, your program doesn't emphasize a proper type of strength training. Number 4, you're fixing your eyes on weight loss and the number on the scale versus fat loss. You need to have your body composition checked. You can do that if you're at a gym, or if you have a scale that does that, which checks your bone density and your muscle and your fat, not just it's not BMI, okay? Like, let's throw BMI to the side. I'm not talking about BMI. I'm talking about your body composition. Like, how much fat compared to muscle do you have? So you're fixing your eyes on weight loss versus fat loss. And the last one that I talked about is cutting out lots of carbs. That's water weight. And think 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that's it for this episode. Thanks for hanging out with me again. Come back to the next episode. We're going to talk about what to expect when you decide to go all in and follow Jesus, and what to expect in your body freedom journey. So I'll see you on the next episode. Just a reminder, my calendar for coaching opens on the 2nd week of April. So if you are ready for that, or if you have any questions, email me at Jaclyn@courageousfitfemale.com. That's Jaclyn. Be careful with my spelling. It's Jaclyn @courageousfitfemale.com. See you on the next episode, ladies. For His honor and for Jesus' glory, stay courageous and stay fit.